Hey everybody, we are back. Jose Tabata, Norb Cabrera. We are here. Another episode of Fair or Foul, Breaking Balls, and well, it's been a few weeks since we've done this. No hitters. That's calmed down a
Gee
little.
whiz.
That's calmed down a little bit, but and I wonder why. Oh yeah, because all of a sudden, sunscreen, pine tar, the sticky stuff, the quote unquote sticky stuff, as the safest way I could put that. People are going to spin and twist the hell out of that, you sick freaks. Um, the sticky stuff has come into play here at MLB, and I guess it solved the no hitter issue. I don't
Could
know.
be.
I don't know,
Who
but
knows? That's a
in
conspiracy on its own, yes.
yes, it indeed it is, Norb. And in case you've been living under a rock, or I guess if you're not a baseball fan and you just like to listen to us because you support us, um, MLB has begun to quote unquote, I say quote unquote for a reason, to crack down the illegal use of foreign substance, or rather the use of a foreign substance. And what that foreign substance can do is affect your grip, is affecting your grip. And when your grip is affected, determining on whether you can hold the ball harder or be more bit more secure of it, you would get a better spin rate. I'm just dumbing this down to the best as I could. Not just for the sake of like you're listening in case you don't understand. It's just the best way to explain it. Because when you release a pitch, or pitchers rely on those off-speed pitches, those or those fastballs, and they like to get they like to have a lot of spin, a lot of revolutions per minute to affect the pitch and act in a way that can be really tough for the batter to swing at, to make contact with, because there's a lot of movement. Which again, the sticky stuff or the foreign substances when it helps with that grip, it'll help you deliver that pitch that you need, and it'll help really affect the movement of that ball, and then it just becomes unhittable. So they've begun cracking down on it. I believe it was as of this past Wednesday. Sorry, this past Tuesday, the 22nd, when MLB has begun to inspect some at the beginning of the game, some or the traditional first and fifth innings. I believe those were the rules. Or you can do what Joe Girardi did and just ask him for every other inning. Hey, do you mind checking Max Scherzer, please? Like, it's just something weird about Max Scherzer. And of course, if you are caught with said foreign substance, you will be suspended for 10 days, I believe, with pay. With pay. So if you want a free vacation, put on some sunscreen, get that rosin, mix it up real good, and throw your fastball and just head off to Cancun. Norb, let's start with you on this. I gave basically the I think I gave the best breakdown that I could about this, because yes, as much as I love the no hitters, I think it's safe to say that there is a problem, and MLB has begun to crack down. Norb, let's start. Yeah, Norb, go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, April and May, we've seen a lot of no hitters and a lot of excitement with pitching success this year so far, history in the making. And then all of a sudden, this buzzkill just happened when I think originally Josh Donaldson brought up the issue of
Yeah,
some pitchers using foreign substances.
yeah,
And lo and behold, and here we are, Major League Baseball implementing this foreign substance policy. I think it's. I don't really know what to say. I mean, like, are these pitchers playing a baseball game in a ballpark, or are they lining up for airport security when they're traveling somewhere? I don't really get it. Like the pitchers are very successful. In their craft, they strike out a lot of batters, and uh, they just perform well at times when they're out there. I don't think that a lot of pitchers, like, in my opinion, are using a foreign substance because they're out there in the mound. They're out there in the mound. Everybody can see them. They can see their body language. They can see their movements in the mound anywhere, wherever they are. Um, and the umpires are there. The umpires are there. The fans are there. Like they always have to you know at times look at these pitchers' moves. Like what are they doing? Like they're tipping their cap. They're rubbing whatever it is. At the tip of their cap, or like just scratching their gut in their belt, and they're just thinking that they have something to hide in those places. Like I don't really understand. It's an absolute foul for me, and for Major League Baseball to implement this. Like, have they really thought about this whole process? Like, this was just implemented not too long ago. Like, I don't know how long they've implemented the rules. Because it seems like it was like a spur of the moment, like rule change in the middle of the season, and it wasn't even talked about during the off season. So, like, is this a spur of the moment thing that Major League Baseball has come up with because of some batters complaining that these pitchers are using something in their body, and they're hiding it? And and we really saw it with Max Scherzer and Sergio Romo as well. Like,
Yeah,
they
taking off
were
their pants. Oh my goodness.
they were pulling a Steve Lyons of the '90s with their antics. But you know what? I don't really blame them. This is something that is probably not thought of very well by Major League Baseball. In the middle of the season, especially when you have to implement something like this, add a rule to the books. To me, it's just insane. Like, Scherzer getting searched 3 times, it's a little bit excessive. And for Sergio Romo, really peeved as well. Getting searched every, I don't know. I think he only got searched once or twice. Who knows? But like the pitchers that come into the ball game, especially, and when they exit the mound, like, they get searched. The starters, every other inning or whatnot, how many times they get searched, and catchers have those random inspections as well. I mean, like,
Oh, do
was
they?
what?
I was wondering if the catchers were getting inspected too, because so far all I saw were
Yes,
all I saw were pitchers. Because I know,
yeah,
because obviously the catcher can easily hide some of the sticky stuff on their chest protector, and they just kind
yes,
of like
yeah,
just like tap it off as if they're quote unquote giving like a baseball signal, and then while they're throwing it back, the ball is sticky. But
yeah,
I was wondering if I was hoping they would, because
yeah.
it could be a 2-man job.
Yeah, that's my understanding, that the catchers are getting randomly inspected as well. I mean, they're beside the umpire. The umpire can see whatever the catcher's doing, and for the pitcher, all eyes are on them. The umpires, the fans, your opposing dugout can really always spot you in whatever movement that you do. I mean, like, is it really of value to inspect a player like 2 or 3 times? I mean, this feels like you're lining up for airport security for for all I care. These guys are playing baseball, and they're supposed to play the game the right way, and they are. And especially now that this new enforcement's happening. I mean, they understand the rules, they get it, but excessively inspecting them 3 or 4 times, it's really foul for me. It's unnecessary. I mean, just search for, inspect them, like, once or twice in a game. You don't have to inspect them all the time, like when the inning's over and they go back to the mound. Search them in the beginning of the game, or like after the middle of the game or something. Like, there's really no point of inspecting them more than 3 times. It's ridiculous.
I know. I know he had people like John Boy really get into the nitty gritty when it comes to the sticky stuff. He obviously, John Boy's known for his excellent lip reading work, but also when it comes to investigative stuff, he comes up pretty big. Like, he was really big with the Astro scandal and how he caught the audio of the garbage cans, and then he released a video regarding the sticky stuff and how it could impact. I know one of our writers at the company that I work for took the time to go down to a pitching cage and got an example of the sticky stuff. He said it felt really thick. It felt really really heavy, and then he saw some results. He saw some results in his spin. He's like, he's not. I mean, he's not like a big pitcher. He's not like a super fast. Like he's not like an actual pitcher, I should say. But it's an interesting that even a journalist can notice that something is wrong. And I do. I'm all for. I get it. You know, check it. Okay, fine. You like if this is out there, fine. You know, you may as well. The umpires may as well just be doing their job. I get it. All right, but what pissed me off specifically this past Tuesday night, I think Girardi should get some sort of maybe not get fined or anything, but Phillies manager Joe Girardi, that was despicable. And you got the sense, I'm like, you know what? Maybe Girardi is not doing it just to see if he's cheating. Girardi is probably just wanting to throw Max Scherzer off and give his team the advantage in the game, which is pathetic. And I believe Girardi was ejected, was he not? Girardi was
Yeah,
ejected.
I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure if Scherzer was ejected as well.
I can't remember. I don't think Scherzer was, but
yeah,
that cannot happen. If you're gonna have managers abuse the system, which of course you can argue, but the pitchers have been abusing it. Okay, fine. You know, yes, sure, they're cracking down into now. But if managers are doing it just to gain an advantage, is that not defeating the point of this whole thing? You're kind of being hypocritical in a sense. I liked what Clayton Kershaw today is on record today. He was saying what should happen to avoid what happened with Max Scherzer is kind of implement what they do with the challenges. Give them like a maximum of a check or two in a game, aside from maybe the first and I think it's the first and fifth innings of to check the glove, the belt, the hat, and all that. Give them a check max outside of those if you really think that something's wrong. Which again, it's pathetic. Or maybe don't even have managers at all. Just like have that power. Don't tell them, hey, go check. I know it happened before, but now with this even worse implemented, I think that is going to be an even bigger problem. Like, so I mean, I don't know what the solution is. I mean, and the other thing too, the Brewers pitcher, Freddie Peralta, yesterday, had his glove confiscated from the umpires because it was too light. Too light, saying
How?
That's what I'm saying. It's
How?
too light, which must mean that there must be something wrong. So can we get him a regular colored glove? Which is ridiculous. Like, in what world is that? Like, is that colored? But or like that's such a big of a difference. And you would think like with the heavier substance, anyways, it's a darker color. So I don't even know what. It's
Yeah.
It is a bad idea. I think at the end of the day as well, if they have to check, but I'm more angry at Peralta. Sorry, not Peralta. Girardi doing what he did last night. It's not fair to the starting. It's not fair to the pitchers. If anything, I loved DeGrom, the New York Mets ace DeGrom, that he was checked after the first inning.
He was the first ever pitcher to be inspected.
He was the first pitcher to be inspected.
Yeah.
He just kind of gave a big smile. I was like, oh, okay, you're doing a job or whatever. And he still kicked ass, which was hilarious. Like he's just that good. Like, I mean, like you're like, I love that. Like, A, nothing was found on DeGrom. B, you just proved that DeGrom is a monster, and just give him the Cy Young already. Why the hell are we waiting till the end of the season? Mm-hmm. So, I want to. I don't know how far this can go. It is ruining the game. MLB wants a slower game, wanted a faster game because it was quote unquote too slow for the millennials, like people like me that are watching the game. This is delaying it more. This is going to make it significantly worse in terms of time, because if you have managers like Girardi, or if you have umpires that are just so slow and just don't know, like, is it not? Is this sticky or not? Like, that's going to take a while. Like, again, Manfred, I think, has just completely gotten worse, and this just doesn't help. But I don't know what the solution is either. So. I don't know if you have any other final thoughts, but it's just not.
Well, you know what? It's really throwing a wrench into this season. Like we were so stoked about all the no hitters and all the early successes of of the season with so much excitement, and it's just all of a sudden throwing a wrench at everything. Major League Baseball wants a faster game, well, this is going to slow things down, especially when managers are going over there to the umpires to have a pitcher checked every single time. I think it's just going to ruin things. And in the pitcher's view, not only that they're using these, well, supposedly substances to perfect their pitch a little bit more, to enhance it a little bit, but they're also saying to their case that they're protecting the hitters. They're protecting the hitters from being hit, with their pitches, and I mean that's the reason, right? Because the baseball, they're dipped in mud, and then all of a sudden, as the game progresses, that mud becomes like a sandy substance. It becomes sand, like the dirt in the field, and that's why they gotta use something to grip that ball very carefully. And the only thing that's legal that they can use is the rosin bag. So that's the reason why they're using the sticky stuff, but not anymore. To me, it's just throwing a wrench into the season, and hopefully there isn't more incidences happening with managers like overly abusing this enforcement on especially the star pitchers that are pitching out there, like Max Scherzer or Jacob deGrom. So
Yeah,
let's just
and
hope that things can lighten up a little bit.
And I mean, you can't forget, like, pictures. I mean, there was a Sports Illustrated article a little while back that apparently had text messages from players representing Garrett Cole, Adam Wainwright, the Blue Jays' Charlotte Chatwood, which greatly explains his performance in the last few weeks. Yes. Saying, and like, an Angels, a former Angels employee, Brian Harkins, or nicknamed Bubba, who was making this substance for pitchers for apparently 15 years and then finally get out, fired, tried to sue MLB over it. Let me ask you this, because obviously this is, sure, you can say it's getting out of hand, and I'm trying to look and see what this sticky stuff is, like this specific new stuff that, especially that, that we're asking this former Angels employee was rosin, liquid pine tar, and motor stick, because it just creates the stickier the substance. So the question I have to ask you is, because obviously, pitchers have relied on this for the game. Yes, this new substance, I think, is just extremely excessive. If you're MLB, to kind of quote unquote keep it fair, which I don't think there's going to be a case, do you make a legal substance? Do you allow a specific substance to be fair game? Because people were just using rosin and sunscreen. Dab it on their arms, get the rosin out from their forearms or whatnot, or from the small glove, and then boom, you're good to go. And get that grip, because baseball players, pitchers just want grip. At the end of the day, that's all they want, grip. And after the whole, the ball was modified for more long balls, and the pitcher's going to say, well, I would just want something with more grip. Do you implement a proper legal substance?
I mean, if there's a way for any product out there, I mean, like a lot of products have chemicals in it, like they don't want to use that. I mean, I think there's an opportunity for Major League Baseball to revisit this rule and possibly make an exception on a I guess a user-friendly sticky substance. Back in the 1900s, they used lime juice for the baseball, and they only used one baseball the entire game, filled with lime juice, just to keep it clean. And I don't know how they did it back then, but they used one baseball back in the 1900s. Why not use lime juice? Go back to the 1900s and make it legal again. How about that, Major League Baseball? You know what? Like, if pitchers feel that a sticky substance can still be an exception for the game, like, they have to examine a lot of substances, to make sure that it's user friendly, that it won't corrode their hands in a way, or things like that. I mean, I didn't mention earlier that In sunny days, especially like when you're out there and it's like 100 degrees California weather out there, your glove can be sticky after a while because of the leather. So if
Yeah.
the umpires check that, I mean, like, what are they gonna say? Like, oh, it's the sun, it's leather. It creates some sort of stickiness because you're in the hot sun,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, what Major League Baseball has got to do is, like, if there's a way for them to examine some user-friendly substance that is chemical free and all that stuff, why not? Why not revisit it in the off season and make an exception? Because I'm pretty sure pitchers will be in favor of that going forward if it ever happens.
And I think the other thing too, I think, when they say no substances at all, which includes sunscreen, these pitchers literally use it so they don't get burned out there
Yeah.
on their necks, on their arms, like it's exposed. It's like my brother had a really bad sunburn a couple weeks back. Poor kid. He was out there. I mean, mind, he was out there for a while, but the kid was destroyed, bless his soul. And I think these pitchers are also like a little bit at risk too. Like it could mess up the paint and the burn could mess up some mechanics here and there. I don't know what legal substance. You bring up some good points. I don't know what legal substance there could be, but the other thing too is, I think regardless, we are in for a messy CBA agreement, CBA discussion in the offseason. We're screwed. We're screwed. Do I see a strike with all this going on? Because I can totally see the players fighting for this, and I can totally see management or the owners fighting for this. So I'm ready to get my picket sign or
Your
whatever they
picket
call
sign.
Yeah, I don't know, but this is going to be ugly, and I guess we'll see in the coming weeks. I'm sure in a couple of weeks we'll definitely have to sit down and see what has happened since this conversation. Because this is this first week alone, the first few days, it's just been wild, absolutely wild. But I think this is where we'll leave it for the day. Norb, thank you as always. I'm Jose Debada. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take care.